We recommend that the change of assessment notice include on the bottom a tax impact statement where we'll estimate what the tax change will be, at least for the county purposes. That way people will know where they fall. So it's really hard to look at a change in value from $10,000 or $20,000 to $100,000 to $200,000 and have any idea what it's going to do to your taxes. We'll calculate those break-even millage rates so that we can give people an estimate of where they fall in dollars and cents, even though in the end that's not what it's about. It's about property values. The most important three pieces of information about a property's value. What's the most important three pieces of data to affect the value of a property? And this is an old realtor's joke. If somebody, there's a hint. The location, the location, and the location.
This question, but it did come up during the discussion about hiring your firm. Your firm or associations of it own property or have options to purchase property in Lebanon County. And I wonder if you can tell us what kind of holdings you do have in the county and how you will handle that during the appraisal process.
Sure. We have no holdings, and when I say we, I mean I might have an employee that lives in the county. I'm not sure. Dr. Barr, who is the CEO of 21st Century Appraisals, has no holdings in Lebanon County at this time. He has a separate nonprofit that he's chairman of the board of, that called Agrarian Country, which has options to purchase land in northwest Lebanon County for an agricultural education center and so forth. Dr. Barr doesn't actually deal with the daily management of the appraisal business anyway. The Chief Operating Officer is Gene Porterfield, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer. And Gene and I really run the appraisal business. When it comes time to value property, whether it's something that a member of our board owns, or if I lived in the county, or the commissioners own properties, or the solicitor's property, or your property, or anyone's property within the county, when you have a potential conflict of interest about that property, I mean, Dan probably lives in the county, some other licensed appraiser is going to make whatever variable judgments are necessary about his property. The data will go in. You asked if the appraisals are, affected, and that all gets wiped away. We don't even look at the names when we're doing this in the computer because it doesn't matter who owns it. But when it comes to setting a final value and making any judgments that are necessary for that, then you make sure that that an appraiser isn't manipulating their own numbers. And we go through that, and there's a record in the computer of who set the value on every piece of real estate when this is over. There's not any, it would be dangerous to play those kind of games. It would be, in my opinion, illegal and fraudulent to manipulate values. I have had counties, well, my grandfather had counties years ago. We one time had a county commissioner come and say, this is my brother, here's his parcel number, I want you to make sure it's low. And my grandfather's answer was, then you fire me, because I'm not doing that, and if you don't want me to do this job for you, then I will go do something else. But I will not manipulate a value on any particular person's property. And the commissioner apologized for even suggesting such a thing, and we never heard about it again. That's not happened to me. The county can raise their budget, their levy from real estate, 5% max in 2013. Municipalities, 5% max. School districts are capped at 10%. Lebanon County has how many people enrolled in Clean and Green right now? None.
Zero.
Zero. Why is that? Well, because 1972 values compared with the state's calculated Clean and Green values, they're still better off at the 1972 levels. But Clean and Green is a special taxation program. It took a constitutional amendment to the Pennsylvania Constitution to make this possible. Clean and Green allows taxes for eligible properties to be based upon its use value instead of its market value. If someone has 100 acres of farmland or forest land and they are using it in active farming, then they're entitled to pay taxes on its value as farmland. instead of its value on the open market. And it is absolutely imperative that we get the word out that Clean and Green is there, that it's a program that people are entitled to if they're eligible for it. Has to be 10 acres or more, has to have been used for active agricultural production or forest production for the past 3 years. There's brochures that we'll have available that explain the details of these things. Well, it sounds like a really good deal. I'm going to pay less taxes if I just sign up for this program. What's the catch? Well, there is a catch. It's not a very aggressive one, in my opinion. The catch is, if I sign a parcel up for Clean and Green, say Mike's got a farm and he signs up for Clean and Green. If he changes his mind and decides to put a mini market on it, commercial enterprise, or split it up into a subdivision, instead of keeping it one big nice parcel, he will have violated the Clean and Green covenant, which is recorded as an instrument in the Recorder of Deeds office. He will have to pay back the amount that he saved, plus 6% simple interest. I want them to be signed up before that number takes effect, so they never have to pay taxes at the market value level number. And to facilitate that, the change of assessment notices in July of 2012 will tell them what their Clean and Green value is, right next to the market value. I haven't presented this to you before, but I would recommend, Dan, that the Board of Appeals adopt a policy that you can take Clean and Green applications early, if folks want to start signing up now, with a clause that says, if that happens to be a higher number than your old assessment, that the lesser of the two shall take effect. Mike, do you want to address that?
I hope to start out with probably 5 or 6 data entry people. As many field data collectors as I can get, probably 20.
How would they go about applying?
Once we have our, well, for now, if someone's interested, they can email Mike Russell with the number or contact our 21st Century office with the email information that's on the press release, or get their name to the assessment office and they'll forward it to us. And anything that you folks can help us do to attract qualified individuals to do this work. It's not, they don't have to have appraisal expertise because they're not appraisers. It's maybe more complex, and it is more complex than census work, and they have to have a car, well, if they're field people, they have to have a driver's license, and they have to be willing to abide by the rules and follow the rules, because if they don't, they're going to get let go. But anyone who's got a good work ethic and is willing to go out and visit properties and gather this information, we want to encourage those people to come. And we'll ask the door hanger form, we'll ask for information that such as bathroom count, does it have central air conditioning, is the basement finished or not, are there any factors that would affect the sale of the property that we might not know, for better or for worse, anything about the property that they want that might be of interest. It might cost $100,000 to build the barn or $20,000 to put in the pool. Actually, that's probably low, right? But you're not going to sell it for that much more because that's there. So everything is valued at its contributory value to the sales price. And most of the value is in the location, the site, and the dwelling, what you live in. The extra buildings, the bathroom counts, and some of those things have a smaller effect.
And do the property owners have to, will these people be going on people's properties, and do they have to allow them on the property?
The answer is yes, they will be going on the people's property. No, they don't have to let them on, but it's recommended that they do. Let me be a little, and asking to go in the home or something like that, then by all means chase them off. If they don't have their ID, they need to go home and get it, because they're not allowed to do their job unless they've got their ID.
But no one will be asking to go in the home.
No one will be asking to go in the homes. Absolutely not. That's an intrusion.